I think control is probably the most overlooked piece, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there's anything I see in other people, other agents, is they don't always have that control, and it's because they're getting pulled off into different conversational topics, or they don't know how to address the elephant in the room. They don't know how to get someone to start opening up and sharing, so they skip over certain portions of a conversation as if it doesn't even exist, and then they get to the end of the sit, and they're like, well, thanks for coming. It was nice talking to you for 5 minutes.
Explain to me, what are the benefits of being able to actually read your client? How can that help you in really any situation?
Well, I think one of the most immediate things is connection, right? If you're able to read the client, and especially with their personality, if you're able to tap in a little bit to who they actually are and what types of stories or what tone that you're taking is going to sit with them, that's the biggest thing. And if you don't have connection, then you don't have trust. So connection and trust go hand in hand. So that's the most immediate thing to me.
Absolutely. I think that's the very first and foremost, because when you're going to a home, you're approaching a home, you're making the initial phone call, you're meeting a client, no matter what business or type of sales you're in, that immediate body language, that immediate trust, you're really looking to see how guarded they are, how reserved they are, how hurt they may have been in the past. What are their initial thoughts of you? Except for Chris. When Chris, when the client sees Chris, they just, woo, they get so excited. But you're exactly right. Trust is a huge one. I think another one is control, is really identifying and being able to establish control. And that's not always dominating a conversation. It could be listening really well, but then redirecting or steering the conversation back to what you want to get on, and reading their body language when they're telling the stories, if they're getting excited, if they're being more reserved, and being able to see if you need to establish more trust, or if you need to give them a little bit of nuggets or a little bit of information so they calm down a little bit to allow you to continue moving forward in the sit.
I think control is probably the most overlooked piece, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there's anything I see in other people, other agents, is they don't always have that control, and it's because they're getting pulled off into different conversational topics, or they don't know how to address the elephant in the room. They don't know how to get someone to start opening up and sharing, so they skip over certain portions of a conversation as if it doesn't even exist, and then they get to the end of the sit, and they're like, well, thanks for coming. It was nice talking to you for 5 minutes or whatever. And
yeah. And there seems to be a relationship between understanding body language and understanding personalities. That was a hard one for me getting started, because of understanding the needs and desires of people. Because of my emotional excavation, I would feel like, and you can listen to podcast number, insert podcast number here, to check out more about the emotion. Austin's giving me a look when I do that. Emotional excavation. But I was looking for a deeper level of it, and sometimes the personality wasn't that type of person, and I had it, and I was still not satisfied that I had it. Do you understand what I'm saying with that?
Mm-hmm.
That was an important part of it, because some of it's body language, but some of it's just understanding people and their personality types. Not everybody's always enthusiastic, not everybody's super emotional, so being able to plug into that to find the need and desire is important.
Absolutely. And learning read the client, and I want to talk about a couple signs here, because a lot of our listeners are probably thinking of, well, reading a client, it may be on what they say. Well, they may be immediately thinking of objections, or I don't have time for this, or I'm already taken care of, which to me in sits, and I know another sit that actually, I think it was that same time, Tim, that stood out to me was when we were sitting together going through, we were doing a presentation, and we ended up not getting a sale. And we came back to the car, and I asked you, Tim, I said, what was the reason? Why didn't we get the sale? And you said, I forget what it was, but it was this reason. I said, nope, that wasn't the real reason.
I said urgency.
Yeah.
I remember this, the two ladies, right?
Yeah. And you're like, and I was like, nope, that's not it. And he said another one. I said, nope, that's not it. And then we identified what the real reason was. And we talk about this all the time. We have that podcast series. I think it's episode 3 through 6, maybe 3 through 8, on the 5 real reasons that people don't buy. But this podcast right now, talking about reading the people, goes so much into that, because there's so much about reading people that's it's mostly of what's not said. So what are some of the signs that you can read people? What are the signs you're looking for?
Hey, thanks for watching this video. For the full episode, click the link in the description, or you can search Life Insurance Academy wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can subscribe now, and for the next video, click one of these. It's your choice. You get to choose. There's a choice. We'll see you in the next video.